It takes a courageous soul and big personality to follow in the footsteps of Oprah Winfrey. Fortunately, courage and personality are just two of the many qualities Felicia P. Fields has in abundance. In 2005, she made her Broadway debut as Sophia in The Color Purple, the role immortalized on screen by Oprah Winfrey in the 1985 film. For her portrayal in the musical, Felicia won a Theatre World Award, the Clarence Derwent Award from Actors Equity, and received a Tony Award nomination for Best Featured Actress in a Musical. She then brought her performance to audiences across the country when she appeared in the first national tour. However, this towering achievement is just one highlight in a long and celebrated career. Felicia Pearl Fields was born and raised on the south side of Chicago and grew up singing in the choir at her Baptist church in the Inglewood neighborhood, later directing the choir herself. Not surprising to those who have seen her perform, her voice stood out and caught the attention of the congregation member and composer Julie Shannon. In 1986, after performing in a reading of a new musical for Shannon, someone recommended Felicia audition for The Wiz at the Marriott Theatre in Lincolnshire. With no formal experience, she was cast in the dual role of Auntie Em and Glinda, and the rest, as they say, is history. In no time at all, Felicia became a fixture on Chicago stages, including the Marriott Lincolnshire, the Goodman, Drury Lane, Apple Tree, Northlight Theater, and Chicago Shakespeare. She followed up her debut in The Wiz with performances in Hello Dolly, Showboat, The Goodbye Girl, Hot Mikado, and Dreamgirls, and was soon widely recognized as one of the top musical theater performers in Chicago. To date, she has been nominated for 10 Joseph Jefferson Awards and received the 1996 Actress in a Review Award for her performance in Sophisticated Ladies at Drury Lane Theater, Evergreen Park. Her name has also become nearly synonymous with many titles, having appeared in numerous productions of Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Low Down Dirty Blues, The Amen Corner, and Hairspray, both in Chicago and across the country. I've had the honor of working with Felicia many times, but I will never forget the day we were in rehearsals for Carousel in 2002. Felicia thought her costume looked like Oprah in the movie version of The Color Purple, so she started quoting lines from the movie. I told her if I ever did The Color Purple on stage, I had my Sophia. Neither of us knew that day just how true and how soon that would come to pass. Since The Color Purple, Felicia has shown no signs of slowing down, adding to her resume not only productions in Chicago, but also at regional theaters such as Milwaukee Repertory Theater, Maine State Music Theater, the Fulton, Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park, and Arizona Theater Company, among others. She developed a two-person review, Letting the Good Times Roll, with her friend E. Fay Butler, whom she met in that fateful production of The Wiz back in 1986. She has also started to flex her artistic muscle on the other side of the footlights, most recently serving as associate director for Five Guys Named Mo at the Court Theater. Perhaps most importantly, Felicia has been an inspiration for many young artists. This is in part because her success has been achieved by staying authentic to her true self, but also because of her mentorship. Her dressing room is often a company gathering spot where artists stop by to soak in a little of Fields' force as she passes her knowledge and experience to the next generation. This award is for excellence in the advancement of music theater in Chicago, and even though Felicia appears on stages across the country, it is Chicago that she continues to call home, and where we at Porchlight are very pleased to honor Felicia P. Fields as the 2021 recipient of the Guy Adkins Award. Now to officially present the award, I have a special guest.
Congratulations, Granny.
Hey.
I am very honored to be receiving the Guy Adkins Award. I was listening to the things that Gary Griffin had said, and I think about the fact that he mentioned several awards. I don't know Antoinette Perry. I don't know Joseph Jefferson. Didn't know Clarence DeWitt, but I did know Guy Adkins. Guy was a playful, silly, funny young man. And every time I was around him, he was a joy to be around. He was funny, he was mischievous, and I enjoyed him immensely. He was one of my backup singers, he and Sean, when we were working at Shakespeare. And he sang background for my song, Don't Jump My Pony If You Can't Ride. And the fact that they jumped on board and sang that song intensely was always hilarious to me. It also goes to show me that you never know what's going to happen further on up the road, because the last time I spent with him was joyful, and I'll always remember, I'll have those memories of him singing that background for as long as I live. I got in this business straight out of church. A lot of you guys went to college because you knew that's what you wanted to do. I wanted to be a teacher. I hadn't thought about anything else but being a teacher. And it's funny how things work out in life. A gentleman named Bill Geller and his wife Julie Shannon came to my church, and they needed someone to sing on their demos, and it was destiny for me to be the person out of all the people that were at the church. I sang that day that they were there, and I directed that day that they were there. And they took me in, and from being with them and working on Stones, which was a piece that Julie and John Rieger were working on, I got an opportunity to audition at the Marriott in Lincolnshire. And that's where I got my equity card. And I'm always going to be grateful to them, Carrie Walker, and especially my buddy Terry James, for continuing to have faith in me and to nurture me. And along the way, I've met many people who have helped me and schooled me in this business. I'm going to mention Drury Lane. That is no longer Drury Lane, it's Walmart now. But Mark Robin was the person that cast there, and if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have gotten an opportunity to continue to work straight through, because I was able to go to work and do children's theater and come home and pick my children up. So a lot of people don't get an opportunity to be that fortunate to have children and still be able to work in theater. And I'm grateful that I had that opportunity. I've never had to do like a lot of people and work in a restaurant or have a side job. I've always been fortunate enough to sustain as an actor, and I'm grateful for that. Every time there are hard times, God just drops a dime and says, here's a commercial, keep the party going. Here's another job, keep the party going. And a lot of times when I'm at my lowest, that's what happens. And so I am so grateful to people like Ife Butler, who pushed me at my first audition at the Marriott and said, go ahead, girl, you can get it. I'm grateful to people like Chuck Smith at the Goodman and Henry Godinez, who gave me my opportunity to be in Christmas Carol as the first female African-American ghost of Christmas Present. And people like Barbara Gaines, who I have no training in Shakespeare. I still don't. But she saw something in me and pushed me to do Shakespeare. Ronald J. Parson, who is my friend and a person who has given me an opportunity to learn about August Wilson and other shows that we work well together with. I'm grateful. But most of all, I'm grateful to Gary Griffin. I believe in life there's things that you're destined to do and people that you meet in this walk of life. And I didn't know who Gary Griffin was, but he saw me somewhere and decided he wanted to talk to Tony DeSantis at Drury Lane, Oakbrook, and have me do the angel in It's a Wonderful Life. And from that point on, I continued to work with Gary. He saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and he was willing to go up against Tony DeSantis so that I could get an opportunity to work there. And from that union, Tony and I became friends, and Chi-Chi and I became friends. And then The Color Purple happened. Gary puts his foot in my behind. And I wouldn't have it any other way, because I wouldn't have learned the things that I've learned. I also learned that I can't grow if you don't put your foot in my behind. It's easy to say, go over there and do what you do. But it takes a lot to say to somebody, you're not doing good. I need you to do better. I need you to do this or do that. And it's a wonderful feeling when somebody invests in your career. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to him for that. I'm grateful that he took the time and he saw something in me. And I also know that the steps of a righteous man are ordered, and nothing happens by accident. And so I'm very glad that we got an opportunity to be on this journey together. And I want to thank my family, who's always been there. My son, who took over raising my daughter when I left to go away to New York. Got great children and great family members, and I am grateful to them. And I'm grateful to my church, who is the stepping stone and the place I went to learn how to be in front of an audience, and how they have always supported and encouraged me. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank God, because he makes everything for me possible. And Stuart Talent. Sam. He refers to me as Sweet Mama, and I refer to him as Sweet Sam. And although I give them a hard time over there, they understand and they come through. Another thing is, I got ill during this process of theater, and I want to give a thank you to the people that didn't write me off, that managed to change the keys when my voice began to drop, and when I got ill and gained weight. I'm grateful that you looked beyond my faults and saw my needs. And I thought about that when I mentioned Sam, because he's been a great agent and consistent in trying to help me stay in the game. When I go to Ray Fruin's classes, when he teaches, and the freshmen come in, at the end of my session with them, I say, being in this business is hard, and it's a long journey sometimes. It's like the game Monopoly. If you play Monopoly, you know it's going to be a long night. But as long as you keep your piece on the board, you're in the game. But as soon as you take your piece off the board, you're out the game. So I implore you young people coming up, that if you really believe you can do this job, It's a blessing to be able to do it. And don't let anything stop you. Keep your piece on the board.